And welcome, everyone. Welcome tonight. And I'm so sorry. Every time I take the video out, I forget that I'm not already on the live stream. I have to add myself in. But here I am. Takes a couple seconds there, but I'm here. Okay, so tonight I mentioned on Sunday I'm going to start a new series. I think I mentioned this last week also on Wednesday, but maybe not. But I think I did actually last Wednesday. I made mention of it. I made mention of it again on Sunday. That I'm going to be starting a series, at least a 3-part series. We'll see if I get through each section of it in one night. We'll see, but at least it's going to be 3 parts. I'm going to start a series on time, talent, and treasure, and how important each one of them is. Each one of these 3, time, talent, and treasure, make up our whole lives. Basically, our whole lives are made up by one of 3 things: our time, our talent, and our treasure. What we do with our time, how we use our talents, how we spend our treasure. So let's get into it tonight. We're going to talk about time tonight and the importance of time and the importance of budgeting time and using time wisely and properly. Time is something that goes by without us even realizing it. I'm at an age right now where I can't believe how fast time flew by. I look back and there's no way to stop it. A second is a second, no matter when it is. But I look back to when my children were little and how fast that time went by. And it seems like just yesterday, Ritzy was born. He's 5 years old already. And there's no way to slow it down. There's just no way. And someone said, and I find it to be true, that the older you get, the faster it goes by. Time doesn't really go by faster. A second is still a second. A minute is still 60 seconds. Same as when I was 5 as it is at this age now. But so many things happening that before you know it, it's days have gone by. I remember just the end of last month. I was actually shocked last month when it was still July. I think it was July 28th, 29th, or whatever. And I thought, wow, were we still in July? Because all of a sudden it seemed like this week was taking long. And now here a week of August. What is this? August what? August, let me look here real quick. August 6 days of August have gone by already. And I'm like, wait, wasn't it? Didn't just yesterday I look and wasn't it just yesterday? I said, oh, wow, we're still in July. We still got 2 more days of July. And here we are. It's a week and a day later. Gone. So sometimes it seems to slow down. Sometimes it doesn't. Time is a very important thing. It is very important that we use time properly, constructively. It's so hard not to waste time, and it's so hard to always be productive. I guess what I'm gonna really point out is there's only so much we can do. We can't help some things. There are some areas of our life that time gets wasted waiting for people, waiting for things, waiting for something to happen, waiting for something to change, waiting for someone to show up. There's some things we have no control over letting time waste. But there is one area that we have complete control over, and that is the time we dedicate and consecrate to God. And so when I talk about over these next few weeks here, when I talk about time, talent, and treasure, I'm not going to talk about the time that you spend at your kids' piano recital, or at your son's basketball games, or at your grandkids, whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the time that is dedicated and set apart to God, because time, talent, and treasure makes up who we are. Every piece of us fits somewhere into a time slot, a talent that we have to offer God, or our treasure, which means what we possess. And every one of them needs to be dedicated to God. And what I mean by that is, obviously, I'm not talking about 24 hours a day. You need to be doing something for God. But our time needs to be dedicated to God, in the sense that we are honoring God with what we do with our time. Always. We don't want to be doing things and using our time to do things that discredit or dishonor God. So you understand where I'm going with this. So I read a statement years ago. I was really very young when I read the statement. And I'm going to be honest with you, I did not grasp the meaning of it until I was older in life. I remember seeing it. Oftentimes I would see this statement because it was hanging on a plaque. So I would pass by it and see it. And and maybe it's just me. But it just didn't sink in what it was saying. And I didn't understand when I was younger how to apply it. And I wish now that I did, but again, there's sometimes you just can't. Everybody, woulda, coulda, shoulda. And there was a statement at a Amish store I read once. It said, "We get too soon old and too late smart." And how true that is. We get old too soon. We get smart too late. We get too soon old and too late smart. So I got too soon old and too late smart to know when I was younger exactly what this statement meant. And I wished I did. But I'm going to help you hopefully understand it. It says this. It said, "Dost thou love life?" And I think it was maybe Benjamin Franklin or one of those early fathers of ours that said this. I forget which one. So please forgive me if I'm misquoting, but I'm not misquoting, but misapplying the quote. But Ben Franklin, maybe George White, one of those men said this: "Dost thou love life? Then do not squander time, for that is the stuff life is made of." Don't squander time. And I look back to my earlier years, and there's a lot of times I squandered, not realizing that I was wasting time, and that time that I could never get back again. I realize it now. I wish I could have it back again. I wish I could slow time down. There's no way to slow it down. The only thing I can try to do is to be as productive as I can with the time I have. Every one of us has 24 hours in a day. And every one of us is going to do something with those 24 hours. And so it's important that we recognize that we can and should be honoring God with our 24-hour allotment per day. And that does, I don't mean to ramble on, but well, let me just say this. We must be willing to surrender our time to God. Surrender it. What I mean by surrender it is, it doesn't matter what plans you have made. If God changes them, allow him to. Allow him to. An example, you have plans to go out to dinner and you've made it a reservation for 7:00. And at 6:45, someone calls you up. And they are brokenhearted and they need prayer and they want to give their life to God. What are you going to do? Are you going to dedicate that time to God and reaching a soul? Or are you going to say, "Hey, listen, can I talk to you tomorrow? I got a dinner reservation. I'm just leaving to go to a dinner reservation. So can we?" And by tomorrow, that moment may have passed. Commit your time to God. Whatever you want, God, I will give it to you. Now, that said, I'm not just talking about emergency situations. I'm not talking, because those are few and far between. Very rarely do we make dinner plans that some drastic spiritual thing happens that we have to drop our dinner plans. However, surrendering our time literally means acknowledging that our time, our 24 hours in our day, belongs to God. That's God's 24 hours. He has put it into my hands. And I can do with it what I please, but what I please to do with it is to please God. All right. So I've got 24 hours. You've got 24 hours. What am I going to do with those 24 hours that honors God? Well, I don't want to squander it. Do you love life? Then don't squander time. That's the stuff it's made of. You only have one opportunity. You only have this 24-hour period. Tomorrow is a new day. This day will be past. So you have this 24-hour period. This 24-hour period belongs to God. And if we can remember that every morning when we wake up, this day belongs to God. That's why I wake up in the morning. I've talked this. I preach this. I've told you this. This is the day the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. From the rising of the sun to the going down of the same, the Lord's name is to be praised. I remind myself of those things because today's a brand new day. And it's so easy for us to get pulled in every which direction to where we forget that this is the day the Lord hath made. And that from the rising of the sun to the going down of the same, his name is to be praised. And when our day is going bad and our time is, things are happening in our time that make us feel awful, we forget that from the rising of the sun to the going down of the same, all during that period of time, the name of the Lord is to be praised.
We sometimes forget and we end up complaining, don't we? All right. So I can see already I'm not going to even get through the time part of this tonight because I've got so many things to say and I've already been rambling on. How long have I been going on? Is there somewhere so I can see how long it's been going? 12 minutes already. Okay. Let me get to this part, okay? Surrender your time to God. Surrender it. This day belongs to God. When you wake up tomorrow morning, remind yourself, this day belongs to God. I've got plans. I've got goals. I've got things I have to do, but it belongs to God. This day belongs to God, which means at any moment, he can change my plans. At any moment, he can change my direction. At any moment, he can throw something at me that I'm going to have to handle. And I will put down what my plans were to accomplish his plans or to fulfill his goals, his plans for my life today. This day, from the rising of the sun to the going down of the same, belongs to God, and you belong to God. So you have to surrender your time. Surrender your time. That's a powerful 3 words right there. Surrender your time. Surrender it to God, your time. But I was going to go do this and I wanted to do this. And I just wanted to sit down and read a book. But the Lord has called you to do something else with that time. It's his time that he's given you to perform his will in. So when you wake up, the best thing you can do is to remember that the time you have today is God's, and he's allotted it to you to use wisely, to make proper judgments, and to change your plans if they don't line up with what he needs done. And there may be times when something happens and you're going to be called upon that's going to change your plans. Your day, your 24 hours today belongs to God. I've just gotten to one pair. I've got I got several paragraphs of points to make on time. And I've already gone too long tonight. Let me wrap it up with this. We're going to continue talking about this. I'm sorry. I wanted to do time one night, talent one night, treasure one night. Time is going to take more than one night, but let me leave you with this today. Just remember this, okay? Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, tomorrow morning, I'm going to do this. I'll do this with you. All right. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to say, the first thing I'm going to think of when I get up is not what I have to do, where I have to be. Is the coffee pot ready? I'm so tired today. I can't believe that's not what's going to be the first thought in my mind. Let's have the first thought in our mind tomorrow be this. This is the day the Lord hath made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. And then let's tell ourselves, I will do what the Lord requires of me today. And we may not know what that is yet. Some things may unfold for us. But if God changes our plans, we will let him. This time, this 24-hour allotment, or 12, 14, 15 hours that I'm awake, whatever they may be, they're God's. In fact, so sleeping, by the way, God could wake up in the middle of the night and ask you to pray about something. Get up and do it. Get up and do it. I've done it many times. Middle of the night, get up and do it because woke up. For some reason I woke up and I felt this heaviness. Sometimes I don't even know what the heaviness is. I just feel it. So I get down and pray. God will speak. Do it. There have been many, many miracles reported of people who were in dire straits and terrible problems and trouble. And God moved on a grandmother or a mother or a friend somewhere, sometimes on another state or another part of the world, and asked them to pray. And they've gotten out of bed and on their knees and prayed for a burden that was on them. And the stories of miracles were reported at that very moment because God moved on them. So your time is God's. Let me wrap it up with that. Your time is God's, not yours. It's not your day. It's his day. It's not your plans. They're his plans. If he changes your plans, that's tough on you. Have thine own way today, tomorrow, every day of my life. When I'm sleeping, feel free to wake me up, whatever. time. Give God your time. So next week, we're going to talk about limiting distractions, creating schedules, how to start our days, how to incorporate God into daily activities. We're going to talk about being consistent. So all of these things we'll talk about over at least next week. We'll see how far it goes. My original plan was to do time one night, talent one night, treasure one night. I can see this is going to be a much longer period than that, but so be it. We got time. God bless you. Love you all. Thank you for joining me tonight. I pray you have a blessed week, and pray for our outreach efforts. Don't forget Wednesday. Well, tonight I'm actually pre-recording this just a little before 7. It's going to come live at 7 because I'm going to be out on the streets. And Saturday again, and I think it's 10 o'clock Saturday. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but call Brother Anthony Mucci if you're going to go out Saturday and you're not sure what time he's going out. I'm taking a crew out tonight. Pray. Let's have a great time. Let's do something for Jesus. Let's spend our time promoting his kingdom. God bless you all. Thank you for joining me this evening, and I will see you Sunday at church. God bless you.